Hello guys, you are here for a reading vlog and it's a doozy, so buckle up. But first, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. Squarespace is a place where you can create a really wonderful online presence, whether you want to make a store or a blog or a community. They have wonderful features for all of those things. You can link all of your social media. They have a ton of analytics. They have monetization, membership levels, comment sections. Whatever you want to do, Squarespace can help you with that. So if you want to go to squarespace.com right now, you can start a free trial and play with layouts, figure out what it's going to look like, and then when you're ready to launch, you can go to squarespace.com/cari and you can get 10% off of your first website or domain. Information will be linked down below, but definitely check them out, and thank you to Squarespace so much for sponsoring this video. Let's get on with the reading vlog. I will be in the same outfit but a different day, so just so you know. All right, bye.
Hello, friends. It's Carrie. I have had a box sitting unopened in my house containing a book, maybe, for over a month, and that is too long. I'm gonna open it with you. You know that I love going into books not knowing anything, but this book, I can't even find any information. So I think that this book was very popular on either Bookstagram or BookTok or something. It was buzzed about in book communities quite a while ago. I am very late, I believe. And its whole marketing scheme is what the buzz was really about. So when you go to look up the Octunnumi, the only information you get is that the Octunnumi does not exist. Fospit and any files related to a Fospit do not exist. You go to the website, which is the only place that you can buy the book, and it doesn't give you any information about the plot. I think Goodreads had a little bit of information, but it was just sort of vague. And then I did briefly watch somebody's spoiler review. They seemed like they were OG fans of this book, so I only listened to like the first couple of seconds, but I bought it. I bought the physical book because I figured I can tell you guys what it's about. And this is allegedly the prologue to a 12-part series. Let me just do a quick unboxing with you. Very non-professional. You get this black box and it says, "Every book is an escape from the here, the now, the everyday. Seize the opportunity, savor the experience, honor the voyage. Welcome to the Autonomy." And then we open the box. This is as far as I've gone. I've opened it. And you have got the book wrapped in black paper. The box here opens like this. Ooh. Like so. And here's the book. Ooh, it's got that kind of, not velvety, but almost waxy. I don't know. It's like a nice feeling. Really thick black pages. And then at the back it says, "For our tomorrows are made of our yesterdays." It says prologue, and it's this thick. Oh, I heard about this. Okay. It comes with this little thing, and it is the definitionaries and the pronounceries. Just a booklet of how to pronounce everything. And it's thick. It's many pages. So we've got things like, let's just grab a couple. Oh my god, these are people's names. Shut up. This is somebody's name. Fionith Vip Ellie Given Dunstjuice. What? Obadias Monty Diocese Bullivant. What? Look at these names. Okay, well, so that's it. Okay, how many? I hate doing this. 460 pages. I hate looking at the last page because I know I will read a word or two, but I didn't. 460 pages. They all have like this black around the edges and this stuff, so it might be a little bit shorter. I'll just read you the first, don't be mad at me, I gotta open the book, guys. I know there are people who don't like people who open things, but I break spines. The Octunnumi does not exist. Phosphate and any files related to a phosphate do not exist. And there's definitely no magic. None at all. No, really, there isn't. Magic is not a thing. There are also no hidden worlds or mythical beings coexisting just out of sight. Equally, there are no secret access points to these hidden worlds that don't exist, and there is no unfinished business from the past that is set to destroy, well, anything. Anyway, regardless of any potential threat that may or may not be present, this publication, the Autonomy, and any reference to any other beings is a work of fiction. And for the record, Scaridonits, should they exist, are perfectly lovely beings whose purpose in life is grossly misunderstood. And that's all we get. I believe that that is also on Goodreads. And the publishers are proud supporters of the Good Heart Animal Sanctuaries. So there's a foreword from the publishers, there's an introduction from the author, and then there's the appreciations or the dedication page. And both the introduction and the appreciation are written kind of in the same thing as the introduction that I just read you, that kind of voice. And so the author is maintaining the character of them being of this world, you know? I think that's quite interesting to stay in character. And then we have page 1, which begins with, "Are you insane?" Okay, I got a letter. Hold on. Okay. So I'm actually going to jump right in and read this, and I will check in a little bit later. Okay, I'm going to use my invitation as a bookmark. Here we go. Hi, I'm literally only on page 12, and the characters are talking to the narrator, who is the author. Literally one of the characters is like, "Hi, Trevor." And Trevor is the author. This is strange. Chapter 2. All right, I've made a significant dent. One thing I do want to note, if you care about this, I don't really care that much, but first of all, you get fingerprint marks, but also the gold on the title on the cover gets scratched. Like, I just put it in my bag and it just scratches off. I'm on page 159, and what can I tell you about this book without spoiling it? So we know nothing, right, going into it. What this book is about, it mainly follows two brothers named Reeg and Trad, is how I say them in my head. There is a world that starts with F. I'm realizing now that I've never pronounced anything out loud. That seems to be very much like Earth, where there's no magic and blah, blah, blah. And the Autonomy and everything like that is known and present in media, but they are known to be just fairy tales, just fiction, when in fact they are real. There's a bunch of different worlds or dimensions that you can kind of jump through. Whatever Reeg and Trad are, they can't go home or something. It's explained not well, but just enough that while you're reading it, you feel like you kind of know what's going on. But as I'm trying to explain it, I obviously cannot. It's very, very dialogue heavy. There's not a whole lot of
physical world building. Like, I don't have a really good mental picture of what's happening in the book. Like, they go to a lot of different places and those places are described quite well. So the individual rooms make sense to me, but how it's all connected, what it looks like, it almost feels kind of claustrophobic reading about the world in a strange way, because it's like I can't put it on a physical plane in my head. It's all just like these little pods popping around. Of course my camera's gonna die. I'm just gonna keep talking. It is, some of these are like laugh out loud funny. Actually, no, it's giving me anxiety. The flashing battery, I'll be right back. Okay, I have my other battery, never fear. So as I was saying, it is quite funny. It's very dialogue heavy. And so just the banter and just like the verbiage that the author uses, I can hear the conversations very clearly in my head, and it's very funny, and their personalities come across very clearly, but it sacrifices, not sacrifice, I don't mind this, but it does kind of veer away from the plot. And so it does make the book quite a bit longer, is just because a lot of the conversations we have like 2 or 3 pages of them just like making jokes, which again, I don't mind. I was kind of laughing out loud. I wish I had a better picture of the world. There's actually a photo in the back of this book, kind of different islands floating, but it doesn't feel like that. To me, it feels like we're underground. So as far as the plot goes though, see, look at me getting off track. I personally don't think that I'm getting anywhere near spoiler stuff. But if you don't want to know anything, if you want to go into it like I did, this is probably where you should stop. So we have established that the Octunnumi is a foundation or a group of people, and they are meant to be secret to the outside world. They're very exclusive. They have some kind of power. They're supposed to like protect the realms, right? This is what we know. So at their headquarters, one of their employees hears a knock on the door, and nobody knocks on the door because nobody should know that the door exists. And if they know that the door exists, then they must be a member, so they must have a key, so they don't need to knock on the door. So he goes to the door and is like, who the hell is knocking? Sees who it is. It's a guy and a girl, and he immediately is like, oh God, and opens the door and lets them in. The girl bounces. The guy is dying, so they bring him to the medical ward. This is where we learn that Fospit, so this book is called the Fospit Files. This is the prologue to the Fospit Files. We learn that there is a man named Professor Fospit, who is one of the founders of the Autonomy, and he had a few children, and one of them was named, well, his son was named Nicholas, but now he's regenerated a couple thousand times, and so his name is now Nathan. It's confusing, but anyway. We learned that Nathan left. He chose to leave this secret group because of some mysterious thing that happened. And we learn about this thing that happened, and then we learn that maybe we were wrong about this thing that happened. Nathan is at the heart of it, but Reeg and Trad have to get the whole gang back together that like broke apart because of this mysterious incident, and they're gonna reopen the case and try and solve it. And I think that's what this book is about. It took to page 159 to get to, they keep mentioning like this horrible thing that happened, and then we finally learn what happened, and we learn that we might be wrong about what we thought happened. So far though, I'm enjoying it. It's just like a fun book to read, but it's definitely not, I'm not like relaxed while I'm reading it. I have to pay attention. I don't know. I'm still not 100% sure what the Autonomy does. That's that. I'm going to read some more tonight, but I'm probably gonna fall asleep with the book in my hand, so I'm not gonna vlog it. And hopefully I can finish it. Hopefully in a couple days I will be done with this for sure. So see you then. Oh no. Okay. It's fine. Okay, partners. I'm gonna do my best to keep this quick. famous last words on this channel. I'm gonna run out and grab dinner in a second, but I just finished, literally just finished the Autonomy, and when I left you, obviously, oh, and by the way, like, this will probably be spoilery. Proceed with caution. They had just gotten to the point where this ambiguous event that had been talked about, it doesn't get explained, but like we kind of understand a little bit more about it, and we realize that it's been misunderstood and we need to get everybody back together to solve the mystery, right? Then I read to page about 288, and on page 288 is when we get our next update. So now I know how this is going to be a 12-part series, is that nothing happened in this. So you could say, but Cari, it's a prologue. Okay, but as a reading experience, reading 460 pages and feeling quite lost, but thinking like, oh, you know, at the end, the story's gonna make more sense. No, it does not. So this is where I'm gonna do complete spoilers. It's your final goodbye. All right. The whole mysterious incident is that apparently these people are like relatively immortal. I guess a large group of these, like, younger generation of these immortal people, so they're like hundreds of years old, whatever. A group of these people were in charge of a group of children. They each had a child that they were in charge of, and they were like, we don't know, like training them or just looking after them. It's never really explained, but we just know that they were like mentors to these kids. And then the kids got kidnapped and they died. But then we find out the children are alive. How this is found out is very vague. Apparently you can like take pictures of people's brains. The person was maybe part computer. I don't know. What ends up happening is the children are still alive, but the only way to find where the children are, because remember, we're dealing with like a million, possibly infinite number of little pocket worlds. The only way to find out where they are is to get the whole gang back together, all of the mentors, and see if they feel any vibrations of where the kids are. I don't know. I just remember reading page 288 and being like, oh, now we're gonna talk about it. Where were we? Oh, okay, yeah. So page 288 is when they get everybody together. And the thing that I didn't like about this book is that, first of all, I didn't like this book. So we're kind of solving a mystery, or we're solving a problem, right? And every time they would be like, oh, this is the next step to solving the mystery, they would just do it. Like, they needed to get in contact with, remember how I said there was a girl that brought Nathaniel, his name isn't Nathan, who brought Nate to the place and then just kind of disappeared? They were like, we need to find her. Literally the next page, they just like knew where she was. And it's just a consistent kind of thing like that. Like, oh, we need to get the whole gang back together, even though they're spread over all of these different, like, blah, blah, blah. They're really hard to find. And then boom, they just find them. So yeah, it was just, there really wasn't any struggle. It was just like we had this laundry list of things we needed to do, and so it was like, let's visit the witches, let's visit this and get our car fixed, let's visit this and get this. So it just wasn't fun. And when I say this is dialogue heavy, I mean that it is like 99% dialogue, which I normally don't mind, but these characters have such like a quick wit, and everything is kind of a joke, and everything has a double meaning, that it just got really tiring. There's just so many things that I assume is gonna matter later in the book, but like they just start picking up these random characters and they like come along with us in the story, but for now they don't really seem to make sense. And then all of a sudden we find all the children. Like literally it's just like in one page turn, it's like, oh, we found all the children. Hooray! They're meeting with their families. Everything is happy. They're reunited. Problem solved. And then literally next page, all of a sudden there's an explosion and now the children disappeared. Again. Like, how? What? It was just so strange. We weren't introduced to the children. Like, I have no connection to these kids. They just feel like this imaginary object, right? We didn't even get to see any like heartfelt family moments. That was the only part that was actually narrated. So yeah, then the children disappear, and then we get like, what's even happening? And then they meet meet up with somebody, and the very last line is, I know where the children are. So now this new character is gonna, we're still looking for the kids. I'm not invested because I don't know what these kids are. Why are they important? Like, why were they being mentored and protected so fiercely? Who would want to take them? Like, why were they betrayed? And it was like this huge thing. There's a villain who doesn't seem very convincing. Like, it's just a very weird choice of a villain. His mother, apparently, it's like alluded to that she had some kind of mental illness and her husband locked her away and she poisoned herself. And the husband and this villain's father is like, oh, I bet he just has the same thing that his mother had. He's just crazy. He probably doesn't even know what he's saying. It was just so strange. So now it's like, we don't know if he really knows what he... Basically, I thought that it was charming for the first like 150 pages because it was just like interesting and sarcastic and chuckle and, you know, the Trad and Reeg had fun banter and stuff. And then it just got, I got so lost and it felt so unnecessary and it was just like not good. Like, it was annoying to read because of the constant banter and every character is just so over the top. So read it until page 159 and then just don't. But yeah, I wouldn't purchase it. I'm not gonna continue because if this is really gonna be 12, no way, Jose. 'Twas a bummer, but hey, at least I finished a book. It's June 15th, 16th. This is my first book that I've read in June. I am having the worst reading slump. This was one hell of a reading vlog. I literally had to like park myself. I set a timer and I had to just like sit on my bed and finish this because I was so not into it. Let me know your thoughts. I don't know if many people have read this just because it's hard to get. But yeah, I put this on my story graph and I saw that it has like a 3.2 star rating, which I probably should have looked at before I bought this book. But here I am. That was the Octunnumi. You are not going to be seeing any more reviews for the future books from me. I appreciated the details, like even the like blurbs, you know, when writers are like, the best fantasy, blah, blah, blah. They're all made up. They're all like characters of the book talking about Trevor, our narrator. So, you know, I appreciate what they were trying to do. I think that it's clever. I think that it was funny. But as a whole, like the story itself is just so that's all I'm gonna say. I have to go get dinner now, but thank you for joining me and I will see you guys next time. Should I tell you? I might have started another one of those like very long plot breakdown videos, so if you want one, it may be a long time coming, but I started it, so it's on the horizon somewhere, just a little speck out there. But just wanted to let you know. So, okay, thank you always. And thank you again to Squarespace. You can go to squarespace.com/caricanread to get 10% off of your first website or domain. If you would like to see an example of one made by someone with 0 tech skills, you can go to caricakes.net. And it's mine. I've used them for 4 years. I love them very much. So, alrighty. See you next time. Let me know your thoughts down below as always, and hope you're doing well. Okay, bye.